missing this, I feel bad. Fanatics Fest is the real deal experience. Oh my God, Jake Paul, the kids love him. And then you have the legend Mike Tyson.
I got Jake Paul knocking.
Undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Gimmick going, ready to walk into the Coliseum and face the Lion.
If you're missing this, I feel bad. Fanatics Fest is the real deal experience. Oh my God, Jake Paul, the kids love him. And then you have the legend Mike Tyson. I got Jake Paul knocking him out, undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Ty. Gimmick going, ready to walk into the Coliseum and face the Lion. All right, let's kick things off with round one. You could feel the tension in the air, right? Jake, who's been known for his aggressive style, came out looking more cautious than usual. And who could blame him? I mean, it's Mike Tyson. Jake knew he couldn't go guns blazing here, so he spent the first couple of minutes establishing his jab. Tyson, on the other hand, wasn't playing any games. He was cutting off the ring like a predator, stalking his prey. Even at 58, Iron Mike still had that vintage head movement, bobbing and weaving through Jake's jabs while positioning himself for a brutal counter. He wasn't rushing and he was calculating, waiting for Jake to slip up. Jake kept his guard high and tried to circle away from Tyson's power hand, using the whole ring to create distance, but Tyson's ring IQ was on full display. He cornered Jake a few times, landing a couple of body shots that had Jake feeling the heat early. Even though Jake made it through the round without getting rocked, Tyson clearly set the pace. Jake played it smart, but Tyson's presence and bodywork gave him the edge. In round two, the problem child started to find his rhythm. Realizing he couldn't win this fight by running, he began throwing more combinations. He landed a few crisp ones and you could see the confidence building. His footwork wasn't bad either. He was sticking and moving, trying to make Tyson miss and then capitalizing with counter punches. One thing to give Jake credit for is that his cardio was solid. Tyson, while still dangerous, was starting to slow down just a little. Jake managed to land a solid right hand that seemed to catch Tyson off guard, and the crowd went wild. It wasn't a knockout punch by any means, but it was enough to make Tyson step back and reassess. Tyson, though, came back with some vicious hooks to the body. Every time Jake would land a clean shot, Tyson would make him pay with a rib-crunching body blow. You could almost feel the air getting sucked out of Jake, but he wasn't folding. He was still there, still fighting. Jake did a great job landing cleaner punches this round, and that right hand definitely earned him the edge here. By round three, the fight was heating up. Tyson was starting to unleash his infamous peekaboo style, where he'd slip punches and explode with heavy hooks. You could see Jake struggling to keep up with Mike's timing. Jake was throwing punches, but Tyson was slipping them effortlessly and countering with nasty uppercuts. Tyson managed to back Jake into the corner, and this is where things got scary for Jake's fans. Tyson unloaded a barrage of punches that had Jake covering up and trying to survive, but give credit where it's due, Jake absorbed some massive shots and stayed on his feet. The power of those punches could have folded a lot of other fighters, but Jake's chin held up. Still, it was Tyson's round through and through. His relentless pressure and the clean power shots were starting to take a toll on Jake. You could see Jake breathing heavier and his movement was slowing down just a touch. This round was all Tyson. The power, the aggression, and the accuracy were vintage Mike. Round four was all about survival mode for Jake, but he wasn't backing down. He knew he was in deep waters, but he showed a lot of heart early in the round. Jake managed to land another clean right hand, this time snapping Tyson's head back. The crowd erupted, thinking maybe Jake could turn this around. For a moment, Jake controlled the center of the ring, throwing combinations and landing jabs to keep Tyson at bay. He was mixing it up with some body shots too, which showed that Jake wasn't just here to survive, he wanted to win. But Tyson wasn't having any of it. Midway through the round, Tyson landed a brutal left hook that staggered Jake. You could see his legs buckle for a split second, but he managed to clinch and avoid further damage. Jake was clearly feeling those shots, but his clinch game was solid enough to tie up Tyson. Whenever things got too heated, Jake's heart kept him in the game, but Tyson's power shots gave him the edge. It was a close one though, and here we are, round five, where things got crazy. Jake Paul was hanging in there, but it was clear that Tyson had been waiting for this moment. Early in the round, Tyson turned up the pressure, cutting off the ring and trapping Jake against the ropes. Jake was throwing shots, but Tyson's defense was on point. He was slipping punches left and right, waiting for the perfect opening, and then boom, it happened. Tyson slipped Jake's right hand and unleashed a devastating uppercut that landed flush on Jake's chin. It was like time stood still for a second and Jake just collapsed to the canvas. The crowd went absolutely wild. Jake was out cold. The ref didn't even bother with the count. He waved it off immediately. Tyson, ever the sportsman, didn't celebrate like a madman. Instead, he checked on Jake to make sure he was okay. It was a brutal knockout, but there was still a lot of respect between the two fighters. It was the knockout everyone knew could happen, but it still shocked the world. Tyson's power was just too much. So what can we take away from this fight? Well, first off, Jake Paul deserves some respect. Sure, he got knocked out, but he survived 4 rounds with one of the greatest heavyweight fighters in history. That's no small feat. Jake's jab looked sharp and he definitely had some moments where he shined. His cardio was impressive and he showed a lot of heart in standing toe-to-toe with Mike Tyson. That being said, Tyson was a monster in there. Even at 58, the man still has the power and technique that made him a legend. His ability to slip punches and deliver counter punches with brutal force was what ultimately made the difference. Tyson's body shots, head movement and ring control were the keys to his victory. It was like watching a masterclass in old-school boxing. Jake tried to keep the fight on the outside with his jab and movement, but Tyson's ability to close the distance and land those heavy punches was too much. Jake's chin held up well until that final uppercut, which was just perfectly timed and perfectly executed. In the post-fight press conference, Jake Paul showed up with that classic confidence we all know. Despite getting knocked out, he wasn't down and out mentally. In fact, Jake was already talking rematch. That's right, Jake wasn't backing down. He straight up said, "Look, losses are part of the game, but I'm not done. A rematch with Tyson, I'm all for it." Truly believed I would put him out in the first round, but man, that guy is tough. He even went on to say that he believes another round with Iron M would definitely give him the edge. According to Jake, now that he's felt Tyson's power and experienced the fight firsthand, he's confident that next time he can come in with a better strategy and outbox Tyson. You learn more from a loss than you do a win, Jake said, and honestly, you got to respect the mentality. Jake made it clear he's going to push hard for a rematch. He's not about to let this one loss define him, and in typical Jake Paul fashion, he's already hyping up the idea of a second fight. Whether it's realistic or not, you can bet Jake will keep talking about it, and if there's anything we know about Jake, it's that he knows how to get things moving. On the other hand, Tyson proved that age has gotten absolutely nothing on him. At the same post-fight press conference, Mike Tyson dropped a huge bombshell. He's officially done with boxing for good. That's right, Tyson said he's stepping away from the ring, and this time he means it. After dominating Jake Paul and showing that age is just a number, Mike made it clear he's got nothing left to prove. "I've done my part," Tyson said. "I've shown these influencers that they've got nothing on me." Tyson looked calm and collected as he talked about his decision. He acknowledged that while it's fun to put on a show and still has that fire inside, he's satisfied with how he went out. He's proven that no matter who steps into the ring, YouTubers, influencers, or even younger boxers, they still can't match up to the legacy and skills of a legend like him. He's given fans one last taste of vintage Mike Tyson, and now he's ready to hang up the gloves for good. The fan reaction to this fight was absolutely crazy. Social media went off the charts with everyone talking about the showdown between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. The second that knockout hit, Twitter and TikTok blew up with reactions. You had Jake Paul fans giving him credit for going toe-to-toe with a legend, but let's be real, Tyson fans loved every second of that KO. People were dropping comments like "Vintage Mike is back" and "Jake really thought he had a chance." How the memes, oh, they were on fire. Jake hitting the canvas became an instant viral moment, with people throwing up hashtags like "Deke Sleepy Jake" and "Iron Mike Forever." After a loss like this, everyone's wondering what's next for Jake Paul. Well, it's clear that he's no joke in the ring. Yes, he got knocked out, but that doesn't erase the fact that he's shown massive improvement as a fighter. He's not just a YouTuber playing boxer, he's in it for real. Jake could easily bounce back from this and continue his boxing career, maybe even target other big names in the sport, where he could return to the influencer scene where he's already a massive star. Either way, this fight proved that Jake Paul is willing to step in there with the best, and that alone deserves some credit. There you have it, fight fans. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, a fight that lived up to the hype. Jake showed heart and skill, but in the end the legendary power of Mike Tyson was just too much. That uppercut was lethal, and it reminded us all why Tyson is one of the greatest to ever do it. What was why?